What is going on, everybody? Y'all check out this spot we're gonna fish today. I have caught a lot of catfish down there over the years, and you can't just go down here all the time and catch catfish. I mean, the conditions have to be right. I usually only catch them down here pre-spawn, like May, June, and the water has to have come up real high so that they either wash off or migrate up, and then they get trapped in that bowl, and we just catch the far out of them. Now, this is the first time we've fished it this year, so I don't know if they're down there, but the time of year is right, the weather conditions are right, we've had a lot of rain, everything is just perfect. We just got to get down there and see if there's any big old channel cats in there. Got my oldest boy with me today, not the little one. The little one's more of a character, but this one right here is more of a fisherman. So here's the setup. We got a bobber, just a little pinch sinker. Not real sure how heavy that is. I'll look here in a minute. And then a 2/0 hook. I'm gonna put us a whole worm on that hook. Big old fat juicy one. Now, I got a whole bunch of worms because it takes a whole bunch of worms. There is a tremendous amount of bluegill in this usually, and they will pick me smooth clean. I'll catch, well, with these big hooks I don't catch a whole lot, but they'll jerk my worm off there. They'll probably jerk 5 worms off this hook before I catch one decent catfish, unless the catfish are just really stacked in down there. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes they are piled in there. I've come down here before, I'm talking picked my limit off every day for a week and a half and just no time flat. There we go. Then you just walk up to the edge. Now you got to pay attention to how fast this water's flowing. I mean, if it's more than about, look at that, more than about shin deep, you probably don't want none of it. I'd hate for somebody to get sucked off over the edge of this thing. Y'all know how it is. Water's kind of deceiving sometimes. It don't look all that bad till you get out in it. I'm gonna try to make my first cast right there between, kind of right there where them pillars are missing. Let's see how long this takes. There we go. What do we got? What do we got? That's a catfish. It's not the kind of catfish we're looking for. These are the Stocker Catfish. The state will stock this lake with a whole bunch of catfish that size, and then after these rains, they'll just wash off over into this basin. Probably need another worm. But I'm telling you, I've caught some doozies out here. I'm talking like 10-pounders. Boy, there's a lot of little ones in there. There we go. That's another little tiny one. And he got my worm. I gotta go get my bucket. That one's still a little small to keep too. He's using a smaller hook than I'm using, so he ought to be able to pick him out pretty easy. What you got? That one's almost big enough to flay, or almost big enough to eat whole. Put him back in the lake. There we go. All right, I ran out. I gotta go get another worm. There we go. Man, we're gonna have to pick out all these little ones. There's some big ones in there. There always is. I don't know how many of them little ones we're gonna have to go through to get to the big ones though. I have to get that little one of mine down here and get a bunch of these little ones thinned out. I bet there's 2,000 or 3,000 of them little catfish in here without exaggeration. It does not take no time to catch them. We want a big one. We'll get one. I'm confident. My goodness. What are we up to, like 3 and 30 seconds? Set that right there. Man, I just stepped on one of them cattail reeds and it's kind of squishy under my feet. I thought I stepped on a snake. Wish I had my camera on, y'all could have seen me do the chicken dance. Let's try this shadow, this shady spot. If I was a big fish, I'd be taking a nap over here. Let's try the shady spot on the edge of the current there. Usually when I'm down here, it's those little bluegill that cause me all the trouble. Not little catfish. Well, it's a lot of the same. It's exactly what we was dealing with down yonder. Little fish. Come back over here to where I was to begin with. That boy of mine's moved into my spot. How many have you caught?
More than 25.
More than 20. I probably caught more than 25 too. Catching them just about as fast as I can cast in there, but they're all about 6 inches long. You caught any bluegill yet? Me neither. Crazy. Oh, they got him another one. There's no end to them. My goodness. Usually, I can't believe we're not catching any keepers at all. I've eaten a lot of catfish that I pulled out of this this basin, but I've never had a day where you could catch 200-300 6-inch channel cat. We ain't even been down here an hour. Just had to make my first battery swap. I bet I have caught, man, I don't know, way more than I can put on video. I bet I've caught 30 or 40 of those little catfish, just one right after another. Not one keeper. I think I'm fixing to rig everything up and throw out here and float it past those lily pads and see if I could pull one out from under there. Caught some pretty big ones on this side too, but not very often. Mostly over this side. When the bluegill get to spawning, we'll fish over here. We'll float worms through there, and occasionally I catch a big old catfish over there. But I have caught a lot of big catfish out of this basin when things get right. Just, man, everything's right. Just so full of those little catfish that the big ones, I don't know. This is odd. I don't know what I did with my worms. Go over here and find my worms, and then we'll find another spot to fish. I ain't gonna fool with this side too long. Just want to make a couple casts and float past those lilies. I don't know if I could get close enough to them lilies to actually pull a catfish out from under them without hanging up. Boy, I had to get in there close. There's actually, oh dang it, I knew I would do that. Huh. Doggone it. I ain't swimming out there and getting that either. Come on. Oh, it broke my line. My bobber's coming this way. Alright, let me catch my bobber and tie me another hook on there. What I was going to say is there's actually a whole lot of debris like lime rock and concrete and stuff here. Keep meaning to get down here and try to catch a flathead. I've never caught a flathead out of this lake, but I know some guys that have. Let me tell you, they'll get down here with swim baits occasionally. I know a guy that caught a 36-pound flathead bass fishing on a swim bait out of this lake. 100% true. I'm waiting on this court. I'm sure we can get down here and actually fish for them and catch them. I just never have. I got my bobber back, and when I walked over there where I set all my stuff, my little box of hooks is not there. I'm thinking I left them in the truck. The only other place that I would have put them would have been in my bucket over there. If I left them in the truck, we just gonna have to end this video because I have caught a ridiculous amount of fish, but I ain't walking all the way back to the truck and all the way back down here for these little tiny fish. Look, he got him another one. He been standing there steady catching them. I've been steady catching them. I have come down here before when no, my hooks ain't in that bucket. Come down here before when the big fish were stacked in here, but they are not today. That's the way it goes. You just got to check it, especially these little basins like this. You never know what they're holding. Sometimes they're full of big fish, sometimes they're not. You know, sometimes they're flooded over, sometimes they're dry. You just got to get down and try them. So I appreciate y'all watching. I think I am going to get out of here. Yeah, I'm getting hot. We will catch you next time.